This is a new medieval builder where you're not just an invisible overseer, you're walking the streets with your villagers, watching the town grow from a couple of huts to something worth bragging about. But is it a charming step forward for the genre, or just another forgettable early access project? When you first load up Noble Legacy, it feels like a cozy blend of medieval life sim and city builder. You're not just stuck in an overhead god view pushing buildings around like you're arranging chess pieces. Instead, you can walk right into the action in third person, mingle with your villagers, and then pull back into management mode to shape the settlement. It gives the game a grounded, almost roleplay-like atmosphere. It's like being the mayor, the carpenter, and the nosy neighbor all rolled into one. You start off with a small patch of land and a handful of villagers, each looking at you like, "So, what's the plan, boss?" The first steps are simple but important. You'll need woodcutters to get your lumber supply going, fishermen to keep everyone fed, and storage areas so your hard-earned goods don't just sit around rotting. Before you know it, you're juggling food, housing, tools, and villager happiness, all while keeping an eye on production chains. These chains are surprisingly satisfying even at this stage. Raw wood gets turned into planks, planks become furniture, and suddenly your villagers are living a little less like peasants and more like respectable medieval citizens. It's the kind of progress where you look around and think, yeah, we're moving up in the world, even if your market is still just a table with a cloth on it. The villagers themselves aren't just faceless drones. They've got needs, moods, and jobs you can assign. It's oddly satisfying to see them happy and productive, but equally funny and slightly heartbreaking to watch the blacksmith sulk because the taverns run out of drinks. It's moments like these that make you realize running a medieval village is basically the same as running a modern office. If the coffee runs out, productivity drops instantly. Every so often, something unexpected happens, like a wandering monk showing up or a trader passing through. These little moments add flavor to the day-to-day grind and make the settlement feel alive, instead of just being a background for your building spree. One of the biggest surprises is how chill the game feels. Unlike some other medieval management games that are basically find food or watch your people die horribly, Noble Legacy isn't constantly trying to kill your settlements. The demo makes it clear this is about steady growth and creativity, not punishing mistakes. That's a win if you're here for the relaxing builder vibe. But it also means if you're craving constant danger or large-scale battles, you're not getting that yet. Don't go in expecting this to turn into some medieval hack and slash with flashy combos and huge boss fights. Combat is here, but it's more of a supporting act than the main show. Every now and then, bandits or raiders will show up thinking your village is an all-you-can-loot buffet. You can grab a weapon and fight them yourself, but most of the time you're making sure your guards are trained, your villagers are armed, and your defenses are solid. The most dangerous thing in the current version is probably forgetting to build enough houses before everyone starts complaining about sleeping under the stars. That slower pace does give you space to focus on making your settlements actually look good. The building system is flexible with prefab kits and plenty of decorative touches, so you can go beyond just plopping down functional buildings. Curved paths, little plazas, and themed districts are easy to set up, and they make the place feel unique. If you're the type who spent more time decorating towns in other games than actually winning them, this is going to be right up your alley. And yes, you can absolutely create that rich people on the hill neighborhood while the poor folks live down by the fishing docks. Now, let's talk about the rough edges, because this is still a demo. The UI can be clunky, with menus that sometimes feel like they were designed after a long night at the tavern. Villager animations can look a little stiff, and you'll run into placeholder sound effects that make you wonder if your carpenter is really hammering nails or just tapping two pieces of wood together for fun. These things don't break the game, but they remind you that you're essentially playing a work in progress. And like any early stage game, there's a limit to how much content you'll get before it starts looping. There's also the question of long-term depth. The foundations are strong, and you can already see hints of systems that could become more complex. expanded production chains, more villager events, maybe even a light political system. But right now, it's still more about establishing a nice flow and keeping everyone fed than dealing with large-scale problems. That's fine if you're here for a low-stress building experience, but you'll want to keep your expectations in check for now. That said, it's not without its addictive qualities. There's something dangerously satisfying about watching your market fill with goods, your storage houses overflow with resources, and your villagers stroll around like they own the place. You think, I'll just assign one more villager to the bakery, and suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you're halfway through laying out a new farming district. Noble Legacy has that quiet time thief energy, where progress is slow but steady, and every little improvement feels worth it. So is Noble Legacy worth playing based on the demo? If you're into chill medieval builders, where the fun comes from watching a small, scrappy settlement turn into something you can be proud of, then yes, the demo is absolutely worth checking out. It already nails the cozy atmosphere, the immersive mix of perspectives, and the feeling of running a living place. But if you're here for deep strategy, complex politics, or armies clashing in bloody sieges, you might want to wait and see how the early access version expands. Right now, Noble Legacy is like that quiet but reliable villager who doesn't cause drama but keeps your town running. Not the flashiest in the bunch, but solid and dependable. With more polish, more events, and maybe a little bit of danger sprinkled in, it could easily become one of the go-to games for fans of the genre. Until then, the demo offers a solid taste of what's coming, and it's worth at least one playthrough to see if this kind of slow burn building is your thing.